Pay us what you owe us. Let's talk. All right, lads. Everyone suddenly turned into an armchair economist over this one. And I gotta be honest with you, it's a weird topic to unpack. From the jump, I've always said this, that phrase, pay us what you owe us. It's tricky because, in reality, nobody's owed anything in a business that's still figuring out how to stand on its own. Now, let me be fair, this should be a two-way street. Without the NBA's investment and ownership support, there wouldn't be a WNBA. But without these players, there wouldn't be any momentum or growth. So here's the dilemma. We finally hit a turning point. Owners have been taking losses for 25 to 30 years. And just now they're seeing a path to profit. But suddenly, boom, CBA negotiations, and the players want a bigger piece of the pie before the pies even out the oven. And look, I'm not saying they're wrong. Players deserve more. Take Caitlin Clark, for example. Her real value is probably close to $10 million a year. Angel Reese, well over $1 million. Stewie, Nneka, Kelsey, all worth more than the current max of $250 to $275,000. But here's the issue. The WNBA has a salary cap. So even if an owner wants to pay more, they can't. And because a few teams are cheap, looking at you, Connecticut Sun, Weavy, the whole league gets dragged down to the lowest common denominator. Let's not forget, Joe Tsai flew his Liberty players on a private jet, his own money, so they wouldn't have to travel the morning of a game. The league fined him $500,000. He was nearly forced to sell the team for helping his players. That's the kind of league we're dealing with. And here's what's really going on. Owners don't want to commit to massive contracts and revenue splits if they're unsure this growth is sustainable, especially with Caitlin Clark's injury putting everything on pause. They lock into a 7-year CBA and the hype fizzles. Some owners will just say, nah, I'm out, sell the team, walk away. And ironically, that might be the best case scenario because you want billionaire owners who treat these teams like passion projects, not profit margins. That's what grows leagues long term. Guys with more money than sense, who just love the sport and want to play the long game. But still, let's get real. There's not going to be a 50-50 NBA-style revenue split. First of all, the WNBA doesn't even control 100% of its own revenue. 42% goes to the NBA, 16% to outside investors, leaving about 42% for the WNBA itself. So even if the players got 50% of WNBA revenue, it's not the same as NBA players getting 50% of it. And by the way, revenue is not profit. A lot of companies don't turn profits for years. Tesla didn't for the longest time. YouTube still might not. But employees still get paid and CEOs rake in millions. This idea that we don't turn a profit so we can't pay you is corporate nonsense. But here's the bottom line. The players need a fast opt-out clause. Because if this CBA locks them in for 6 to 7 years and they get undercut, it's a wrap. You cannot afford a lockout. You cannot afford to kill the league's momentum. Fight for more. Fight for your worth. But make sure you can. Walk away if you're getting robbed. Realistically, there's probably a 20% chance of a lockout. But if there's one thing I think needs to happen, the max contract must double. Minimum. Forget $250,000. Give your top stars $600,000, $750,000, maybe even 7 figures. If you want to league with real stars, you have to pay them like stars. Subscribe.